So, guys ready?
Yeah.
Recording? You good?
Yeah.
All right. So, remember for your walk-around inspection, it's broken down into 3 parts. You can get either part of the inspection, which would be part A, part B, or part C. They call them forms at the DMV. Form A, Form C, Form A, Form B, and Form C. All right. And then they have the Form F, which is the full inspection. So during COVID, they were not doing it. Apparently, they started doing full inspections again. So make sure you know the entire inspection. Okay. Let's start with Form A. Okay. Form A will be from the lights right here, the 5 lights, down to the fender. We'll be inspecting the front. We will be opening the hood. We'll be inspecting the driver's side, inside the engine compartment. Full inspection on this side, and then once you go to the opposite side, you will be inspecting your differences. Once you're done with whether it be A, B, or C, you're always going to go back there and you're always going to inspect your electrical, air supply couplings, and your fifth wheel coupling system. Okay? So let's start with Form A. So with Form A, we'll be starting with the 5 lights at the top of the cab. These 5 lights are properly mounted. They're on tight and secure. They're not cracked, broken, or missing. No exposed wire, amber in color. The 3 lights in the middle represent that this is a commercial vehicle. The lights on each corner, those are the cab clearance lights to tell me the height and the width of the cab itself.
Quick question. Before we do this, we have to do the brake inspection of the
Yeah, you will be doing, sometimes you'll start with this.
Oh,
Sometimes
yeah.
the examiner will tell you, I want you to start with the walk-around inspection.
Oh, okay.
All right. If you start with the walk-around inspection, then once you go in the cab, you will follow it with your in-cab inspection and leave your air brakes last.
Oh,
But if they
okay.
give you the choice, hey, you can start wherever you want. You always start with air brake inspection, then follow it with in-cab, and then walk-around inspection.
Oh,
Okay, so it's either air brakes, like I said, air brakes first or air brakes last. Okay. All right. So after the lights, we're gonna work our way down to the headlight. The headlight is properly mounted, tight and secure. No missing nuts or bolts in the back. The wires are properly mounted, tight and secure. No exposed wire, properly insulated. The cover is properly mounted. It's not cracked, broken, or missing. Clear in color. Our low beam, high beam bulb. Low beam, high beam bulb is in good working conditions, not cracked, broken, or missing. Clear in color. Turning indicator also works as our 4-way flasher and parking indicator as well. The light's properly mounted. It's in good working conditions, not cracked, broken, or missing. Amber in color. Okay. So remember, before we used to inspect the grille and the bumper, even the license plate. The DMV doesn't want that anymore. Although I still like to inspect the license plate because it is part of your registration. Okay. So license plate is properly mounted, tight and secure. No missing nuts or bolts. It's not cracked, broken, bent, damaged, or missing. Clean, legible, and up to date. So before we open up the hood, we're gonna inspect this turning indicator as well. So turning indicator, properly mounted, tight and secure, not cracked, broken, or missing. No exposed wire, amber in color. And then you go ahead and unlatch both sides. Once you unlatch both sides, then you're gonna go to the front here. You wanna make sure that you use both hands to open the hood. Once it's about halfway over, make sure that you use one of your hands so it does not slam on you, okay? We're gonna continue here with the engine compartment inspection, okay? So the engine compartment inspection, we're gonna start with the engine block, okay? The entire engine block. I want to make sure that my entire engine block is properly mounted, tight and secure, no missing nuts or bolts. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged. I'm gonna inspect all the way around to make sure there's no oil leaks, no coolant leaks. We check the floor to make sure it's not leaking. All right, since we're talking about oil and coolant, we're gonna start by inspecting here our oil dipstick and the tube. The tube is properly mounted, tight and secure, no missing nuts or bolts. It's not cracked, broken, bent, or damaged, no leaks. And then the cap is on tight and secure, it's not cracked, broken, or missing. To inspect the oil level, we would pull it out, clean it, stick it back in, pull it off for a measurement. It should be filled to proper level, okay? Coolant reservoir. The coolant reservoir is properly mounted, tight and secure, no missing nuts or bolts. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged. No leaks. Filled to proper level. Cap is on tight and secure. It's not cracked, broken, or missing. And then we have hoses. We want to make sure that these hoses are properly mounted, tight and secure. No tears, no cuts, no holes, no leaks. All right, from there, we're going to go back to the engine block, and then we're going to work our way down. Right here at the bottom, this black box, that's going to be the part of our air compressing system. We have the air compressor and the governor, okay? So we're going to start with the air compressor. The air compressor is properly mounted, tight and secure. No missing bolts. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged. No air leaks. It is gear driven. The hoses, we have 2 hoses. We have one that's copper, one that's rubber. We want to make sure that both hoses are properly mounted, tight and secure, not cracked, broken, or damaged. No tears, no cuts, no holes, no air leaks, okay? We're gonna work our way back here to the governor. The governor is properly mounted, tight and secure. No missing bolts. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged. No air leaks as well. We have the hoses. We want to make sure that these hoses are properly mounted, tight, and secure, not cracked or broken, no air leaks as well. So right there on the back side of the governor, we're gonna find electrical wires. We want to make sure that those wires are properly mounted, tight, and secure. No exposed wire, properly insulated, okay? So now, directly under the governor, we're gonna find a power steering pump. But remember, the power steering pump is not a part of the inspection. Okay, that's where we would start the power steering system inspection. But like I said, since it's not a part of the inspection, then we're just gonna follow that hose that comes out of it. We're gonna follow it to the power steering reservoir, okay? That's where we're gonna start the power steering inspection. All right, so now, power steering reservoir is properly mounted, tight, and secure. No missing nuts or bolts. It's not cracked or broken or damaged. We have no leaks. It's filled to proper level. Caps are on, tight and secure, not cracked or broken or missing. And the hoses on this side are properly mounted, tight, and secure. No tears, no cuts, no holes, no leaks. We're gonna follow the other hose. The other hose will take us to the steering box. My steering box is properly mounted, tight, and secure. No missing nuts or bolts. It's not cracked or broken or damaged. No leaks. Hoses on this side are properly mounted, tight, and secure. No tears, no cuts, no holes, no leaks. And this steering box is gear driven. Don't forget to mention that. Now we're gonna work our way up to the U-joints. We have U-joints at the top, we have U-joints at the bottom. I want to make sure that they're properly mounted, tight, and secure, no missing nuts or bolts, not cracked, broken, or damaged, no aftermarket welding, properly lubricated. The steering bar, it's tight and secure. It's not cracked, broken, bent, no aftermarket welding, and it is properly lubricated as well, okay? From here, we're gonna work our way down to the steering linkage system, okay? My steering linkage system is properly mounted, tight, and secure, no missing nuts, no missing bolts, no missing capsule nuts, no missing cotter pins. We have some more over here. I want to make sure that the metal is in good conditions, not cracked, broken, bent, no aftermarket welding, and it's properly lubricated on both sides as well, okay? Let me turn the wheel. Quick second. Okay, so from here, this will take us to the suspension system, okay? So now we're gonna start with the suspension system inspection. So here, the first thing we bump into will be our shock absorbers. The shock absorber is properly mounted, tight, and secure, no missing nuts or bolts. It's not cracked, broken, bent, or damaged, and we have no hydraulic fluid leaks, okay? All right, from there, that takes us over here to the U-bolts. We have the U-bolts. We're gonna inspect the bottom to make sure that all 4 nuts are present. The U-bolts are in good condition. They're not cracked, broken, bent, and there's no aftermarket welding. They keep our leaf springs in place, tight and secure. Our leaf springs are in good condition. They're not cracked, broken, shifted, or damaged. No aftermarket welding. Our leaf springs are properly mounted onto our spring mount in the front and back. Okay, no missing nuts and bolts. Our spring mounts are properly mounted onto our chassis frame, tight and secure. No missing nuts and bolts as well. They're not cracked, broken, bent. No aftermarket welding. So now, our chassis frame. Our chassis frame is in good condition. It's not cracked, broken, bent. There's no legal cuts, no aftermarket welding. If this frame was to be damaged in any way, I would have to place this vehicle out of service, okay? All right, now, out of this frame, we're gonna have this hose sticking out. Air brake hose, all right? So that would be the start of the air brake system.
When we mentioned that we will put the vehicle out of service because there's a crack, we don't have to mention that for every part, like if this part wouldn't be working?
No, it's just the most important one is the frame, okay? All right, so now, air brake hose. Air brake hose, this will be the start of the air brake system, all right? So air brake hose, properly mounted, tight, and secure. There should be no tears, no cuts, no holes, no dry rot, no air leaks. That takes us to the air brake chamber. Air brake chamber is properly mounted, tight, and secure. No missing nuts and bolts. It's not cracked, broken, bent, or damaged. No aftermarket welding, no air leaks as well. The C-clamp, this clamp is C-clamp is pressure clamped. I want to make sure it's not cracked, broken, or damaged. No aftermarket welding. So now we're gonna move on to the push rod. Okay, the push rod's in good condition. It's not cracked, broken, bent, and there's no aftermarket welding. It is properly mounted onto our slack adjuster. We want to make sure that those 2 pins and cotter pins are in place. So now the slack adjuster. Slack adjuster is properly mounted. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged. Here in the front, we should have no more than 1 inch of play. Okay. If we have more than 1 inch of play, then we adjust it by turning the hex nut all the way to the right till it's tight, half a turn back to the left. Okay. From there, we're gonna move on to the inside of the drums. Inside of the drums, we're gonna find the brake shoes. The brake shoes are in good condition. They're not cracked, broken, or damaged. The brake shoe lining is this right here. The brake shoe lining should be no less than 1/4 of an inch of wear. If they were to be any less, they need to be serviced and replaced. The brake drum's not cracked or broken or damaged, no aftermarket welding. I want to make sure that there's no oil, no grease inside of my drums, no black dust, no white dust. Black dust indicates overheating, possible fire. White dust would indicate that a fire extinguisher was used to put out this fire, okay? All right, examiner, we're gonna move out to our rims and tires. I'll be inspecting the inside and the outside of my rims, all right? So I have the inner rim lip, and then I have the outside rim and the rim lip as well. I want to make sure that both sides, inside and outside, are in good condition. They're not cracked or broken, bent, no aftermarket welding, no air leaks. I also want to make sure that my tire walls are properly seated to the rim lips, no gaps, no air leaks as well, okay? Moving on to our tire. So examiner, I'll be inspecting both inside and outside tire walls. So both inside and outside are in good condition, no ABCs, remember, no abrasions, no bulges, no cuts. Any damage over an inch, the tire will need to be serviced and replaced. Tire treads. Here in the front, we are required to have brand new original tires, okay? In good condition. No tears, no cuts, no holes on them, evenly worn. On the same axle, same size, no mismatch. What else? A tire tread. Tire tread should be no less than 4/32 of an inch of wear. We use a tire tread gauge to measure it. You don't have to take the gauges just mentioned, okay? Air pressure, 80 to 100 PSI or tire manufacturer specifications. We use a tire pressure gauge to measure it through the air valve stem, okay? Air valve stem, properly mounted. It's not cracked, broken, bent, or damaged. No air leaks, not touching the drum, not touching the rim. From there, we're gonna work our way out to the lug nuts. Lug nuts are properly mounted, tight, and secure. They're not cracked, broken, rounded off, missing, or damaged. No rust trails, shiny treads, or metal shavings that could indicate that it's loose. If it's loose, I should try to tighten it. If it does not tighten, it needs to be serviced and replaced. Axle seal cap, hub seal cap. Hub seal cap, properly mounted, tight, and secure. No missing bolts, not cracked, broken, or damaged. No leaks, filled to proper level, okay? All right, we don't have a mud flap, so we're gonna substitute the mud flap with the fender, okay? The fender is properly mounted, tight, and secure, no missing nuts or bolts, not cracked, broken, or missing, not touching the floor, not touching the tire, all right? So this completes the driver's side inspection. We'll now step over to the passenger side and inspect the differences. Okay, so on this side, once you get to this side, you would tell the examiner, everything that I inspected on the driver's side applies to my passenger side. These are my differences. Starting with the alternator. The alternator is properly mounted, tight, and secure, no missing bolts. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged. It is belt driven. The wires are properly mounted, tight, and secure, no exposed wire.